going on, people? Today, as promised, we're going to talk about the Invade mechanics, since they did post that article I assume they would post about how it works. Additionally, they revealed a bunch of cards in that article as well, so we're going to start our first batch of card reviews with this article. But first, we have to talk about Invade. So let's do it. They're going to talk about how it was about the Daedric invasion, which is the theme of Oblivion, or the main plot of Oblivion. The Daedric forces are going to be in intelligence, strength, and willpower, and the Blades, guilds, and other people are going to be in agility, endurance, and willpower. So that's how stuff is going to go for the expansion. Let's talk about Invade first, and then we'll go back and talk about the cards. So, when you invade, whether it be by a creature's ability, an action, or whatever, if you don't have an Oblivion Gate, you summon one in the Shadow Lane. This is an Oblivion Gate. Say 0 cost 0/4, does not have guard, it is immune to silence, it is always shackled, and level 1 of it, pay attention to this right here, level 1, when you summon any Daedra, give it +0/+1. So, what happens after that? Obviously, as long as your opponent doesn't kill the Oblivion Gate, you continue to get this bonus whenever you summon a Daedra. However, if you play another card that has Invade while you have a portal on the board, your gate will level up to level 5. And these are the bonuses here. Level 2 gate, when you summon a Daedra, give it +1/+1. So that's if you invade a second time, this will change from +0 to +1 to +1/+1. Level 3 makes your Daedra you summon cost 1 less. Level 4, +1/+1, Daedra costs 1 less, and it gets a random keyword. And then level 5 is all of that plus 2 random keywords. And every level after 5, your Oblivion Gate gets 2 extra health and gives an extra keyword to your Daedra. Bruh. And as you can see here, it means a gate, if it stays on the board long enough and you level it up far enough, whenever you summon a Daedra, it can get every single keyword in the game. Bruh. Oh, God. So before we review the cards, I want to talk about Invade and these Oblivion Gates. Yes, this is incredibly cool. We're going to meme with this. We're going to do some all-in Daedra decks. It's going to be a lot of fun to mess around with these Oblivion Gates and invade as much as you can. It is going to be fun. We are going to have a good time. However, I have a couple issues with this as a mechanic, as an idea. I am not denying the fun. And I'm not denying that there's potential that this comes out and just falls flat on its face. However, I'm scared of this for a couple reasons. Reason 1. If this is very good, if there is a competitively viable, like a tier 1 level Daedra deck, it is going to warp the hell out of the meta to where we might only have a couple viable decks. It might just be, maybe there's, let's say for example, there's 2 good Oblivion Gate decks, 2 good Invade Daedra decks. The meta might just become those 2 decks, one super fast aggro deck to try and kill you before your Oblivion Gate gets out of control, and then like super greedy Tribunal control. Like, you guys have seen what happens to the meta, and this could potentially have that happen again if Oblivion Gates push into that level of being good enough. The other thing that I'm very iffy on, so level 1 and level 2 could care less. Couldn't care less, even. 1 health and then +1/+1 is completely fine for me. However, this starts getting a little scary. Any kind of cost reduction, as we've seen in the past, any kind of cost reduction in this game is dangerous. Every time somebody's figured out cost reduction, some crazy combo deck has come as a result of it, and bad things have happened. I don't think that'll happen with this ability, but just I am nervous about cost reduction. Where things turn into the, oh my god, make this stop, make it go away mode, is level 4 and 5. Mundus Stone is a bad card. It's not a good card. However, every once in a while, somebody plays Mundus Stone, it rolls the perfect keyword, and that game feels completely horrible, and then you're ready to uninstall Legends after that match because that one person that got super lucky with Mundus Stone, it's just not a fun time. This is a more viable Mundus Stone. Slightly harder to set up, but it's not anywhere near as bad as Mundus Stone, and you don't have to run Oblivion Gates in your deck, you just have to run Invade cards. And then it turns all Daedra into Mundus Stone, and then potentially upgraded Mundus Stone, and then it just gets wilder and wilder. There's going to be times where your opponent gets this to level 4, because maybe they just have one Invade card and a bunch of cheap Daedra. They're going to get it to level 4, and there's a chance that they're just going to keep rolling Charge when they need it, and Lethal when they need it, and Ward when they need it, and all of that stuff. Sorry, I need to make Discord go away for a second. People just always are talking in there. I love chatting with people, but when I'm recording, I know you guys hate seeing that pop up and the Facebook notifications. So, I apologize. I'm in, like, 97 Discords, so there's always something going on. But yeah, these two right here, and then additional keyword after that. I just am not super excited about that. And let's take a look at the Daedra that are in the game at the moment before we keep getting extra worried. Most of them cost 3 or more. Most of them cost more than 3, actually, I think. So the cheapest one here is Scamp, which the cost reduction becomes pointless. But like even these guys, like Reeve being a 3-drop potentially is crazy. All of this is very scary. These summon the Atronox. So all the Atronox are Daedra as well, which is scary. Or is that just showing it by accident? Because if the Atronox are all guaranteed Daedra, I've got one problem here. Unless maybe just Lava is? No, because this guy's showing as well. We have to double check that, because then like that's an Alfiq strict buff. Mid-battle mage will be getting heavily buffed if the Daedra are Alfiq, or if the Atronox are Daedra. All of this, like Piercing Twilight costing 3 is gross. The things Alfiq buff, potentially. Or like Alfiq summoning a Flame Atronox and it being 6/4 with a random keyword. Now that's out of Ice Storm range. Same with Supreme Atromancer. This thing being 1-drop. The yellow ones can get very scary. I'm just very scared of this. This has potential to, like, I don't want to go as crazy as to say, like, ruin the game, but, like, yuck. Picture Spider Daedra, and it summons all those spiderlings, and they can all get charged. Like, these are all high roll scenarios, but, like, these are things that can happen. And, like, Daedra are some of the better creatures in this game. Like, it's scary. So let's pull that article back up. Enough of a tangent about Invade. That's how Invade works. When the portal gets summoned, you're going to want to kill it. And the permanently shackled, there has been confirmation that if you play something like Expunge or the 1/4/4/4 with Guard that makes your creatures immune to shackle, this thing can attack, and that will be relevant in the future. So things, any way that you would unshackle Vigilant Ancestor would work on Oblivion Gate. So let's take a look. We have The Crisis Begins, a 6 Magicka spell, destroy a creature, and invade. So it is Javelin with no prophecy, but also starts you off. I don't think this card is super fantastic. Obviously, Javelin's just better. Cast is just better. Sanctuary Raid's probably even better. However, it's going to fit nicely into a deck if it has enough invades to where this is just like a bonus invade on top of it. This isn't completely dead in the water. It's just the kind of card that on its own isn't great, but will make a invade deck better if that exists. So this is probably like a 2 to 2.5 star card. Just flat out destroying is solid, just there's better destruction options, and it's just another hard removal option in the game. So that's a little scary as well. We already have way too much removal and we're getting more. This one is a little bit on the weaker side, but it's very much a synergy card. Next up, we've got Dremora Adept. It is a legendary card, 3 Magicka 4/3, so solid stat line. Whenever this card gains a keyword, you invade. This card can already start snowballing you as early as turn 3. There's so many ways to give this card's keywords. If you're in Battle Mage, you can give an improvised weapon. In Intelligence, you're already going to be running Wardcrafter anyway, maybe even lesser ward if you're playing mid Battle Mage. This card is like solid as a 3 mana 4/3, and then you're just invading it whenever you're giving it a keyword. And the thing to remember is, when your ward gets broken and you give it ward again, it counts as gaining a new keyword. So you can like play this Wardcrafter, trade into something, and then play Sentinel Battle Mace, and that will count as 2 invades. So this card is incredibly snowbally, can just kind of kickstart that invading. It can be down to 2 Magicka 4/3 if you get to level 3. That's very scary. And additionally, if you have your Oblivion Gate at level 4 already, where it's granting random keywords on summon, this card will get summoned, gain a keyword, and then you'll automatically get leveled up to level 5. So this card, for Invade specifically, is probably like a 4.5 star card. If Invade winds up being garbage, this card plummets down to like a 1-star card. But I'm going to grade this card in the 4.5 star range, just assuming that Invade will be viable in some way, and this card will be a centerpiece of that. Next up, we've got Blast from Oblivion. It is a Prophecy card, 3 Magicka action. Invade, then deal damage equal to your Oblivion Gate's level to a creature. So, it's a little awkward. Like, it's perfectly balanced. It's a Prophecy card, so it can be annoying. If it's early in the game, you can summon this just to get your Oblivion Gate out of the way, or summoned, and then you can deal 1 or 2 damage to a minion. So on that front, it would be like a Firebolt with a Summon and Oblivion Gate. If your gate's already rolling, this card gets better and better, crazier and crazier. It could be up to a Lightning Bolt that can only target creatures that also levels up your Oblivion Gate. This is a pretty solid card, again, specifically for these Invade decks. So again, all of these grades that I'm giving these cards are conditional, assuming that Invade becomes viable. If not, then all of these cards become pointless. But for Invade specifically, I think I would give this card like a 2.5 star rating, maybe even 3 stars. It can be decent removal, but it's one of those actions that is better in the late game. Or if you give him a Prophecy, who cares? It's fantastic. But yeah, we'll see about that. Next up, we've got Invasion Party. This is a legendary spell. 4 Magicka. Choose 3 times, either invade or summon a 1/1 scamp. So this is kind of a crazy card. You can either instantly get an Oblivion Gate from not existing to level 3, or if you already have your Oblivion Gate, let's say it already was summoned and it's level 2 or something like that, you can get it up to level 5, or maybe you level it up once, and the scamps that you summon from this card are Daedra. So if your Oblivion Gate's already leveled up, you can slap 3 scamps down, they'll get +1/+1, and then random keywords. This is a pretty solid card. Again, if Invade is really good, this card is going to be bonkers because it's a triple Invade. It's slightly weaker than Imperial Reinforcements on the surface, but the ceiling is much, much higher. This card is very, very solid. I'd give this card like a 3.5 to 4 star rating. Just looking at all these cards is giving me headaches, picturing the high rolls that people are going to hit me with, but also the memes that we're going to hit people with. This card is very, very strong. Next up, we've got Keeper of the Gates. 6 Magicka 6/6. Almost looks like Kripparrian a little bit. Whenever you invade again. So this could be, like, if you pair this, just hypothetically, Keeper of the Gates paired with this card right here, Invasion Party, you can invade up to 6 times just from that one action if this guy survives. This just will get your Oblivion Gate going out of control. I think we're going to be heading towards like a very heavy removal meta just to get rid of the gates and get rid of all these cards with keywords and stuff like that. There's going to be some crazy power spikes possible. This making all of your invades better is obviously just really, really good. On the surface, though, it's a 6 magic, a 6/6, so it has a cap to how good it could be, because a turn 6 do nothing is very risky. However, there is power here. I'd probably give this thing like a 3-star rating, give or take. At least the stat line is solid. It's just a very slow card, so I'm not fully bought into it. But again, if Invade is good, this card can be solid. And finally, we have a unique legendary revealed. It is a high elf plus something else. Mankar Cameron. 4 magic, a 4/4. Whenever you play any action Invade, and friendly Oblivion gates have +4/+0. So you have to remember, there's a couple things to that. The gates are shackled permanently by default. So the +4 in general only matters if your opponent is trading creatures into the gates to try and get rid of your gate. Now the gates can attack back. However, if you have either Expunge or the Dress Tormentor, I think it is, or Dress Renegade, you can unshackle your gate and go face for 4 attack. Also, any action having Invade is insane, because your Firebolts now invade. Your Lesser Ward, if you equip that to the 3 magic of 4/3 legendary we saw before, then you'll get a ward on this, and you'll invade twice with this guy. This guy is incredibly strong, just because of the after you play an action Invade. There's so many cheap actions that see play, especially in Battle Mage. Your Rapid Shots, your Firebolts, your Lesser Wards, all of those invading means you're going to snowball even faster than normal. This card is incredibly, incredibly terrifying. I think there's probably going to be almost just like Mid Battle Mage now, but a Daedra-focused one. It's very, very scary. I think this card's like a 4.5-star card. Maybe even higher, just because of how many cheap actions there are. Maybe I'm forgetting some actions off the top of my head. But there is probably going to be like an all-in aggro type of thing that can slam this down. Maybe even Guildsworn playing that other portal card. This card is terrifying. This mechanic is terrifying. This expansion is terrifying. Everything is so freaking strong. I don't know what we're in for, guys. We're just starting these reveals, and I'm terrified of this expansion. But let me know what you guys think of Invade, as well as these cards, down below in the comments section. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.